Hello, Oracles. Well, it looks like Tesla's profits are about to soar. We have had a lot of discussions lately around margins and profits. We had Farzad who just made a video last night about margins. I still need to check that out. If you guys have watched it, let me know, but don't spoil too much. I want to see it. And then we've got Brad Gerstner over at Altimeter discussing how the profitability of Tesla is going to be significant over the next decade. And then we have Ross Gerber who is chiming in with their annual shareholder meeting yesterday over Gerber Kawasaki, discussing how, the profitability of Tesla is going to be insane, especially when you start factoring in a lot of the EV tax credits and the 4680s and all the battery tax credits that they can get. So I'm going to break down some of the information here because it's some things that had started going through my head as well. So just to, take all of these people's information and their insights and kind of put it all together with my own, wanted to break some of these things down. So first off, we are just looking at, the profitability of the vehicles as it is. When you're starting to look at all of the factories, Shanghai right now is the profit monster for Tesla. Fremont is profitable, but Shanghai is where they're getting most of their profits from. Now we need to remember that Shanghai has hit ramp, they're very profitable, they're doing great over there, but Giga Berlin and Giga Austin were designed to be even more efficient than Shanghai. So when those two factories get up to ramp and they hit economies of scale over there, they will actually be producing vehicles at higher margins. This was discussed by many analysts over in Berlin about how, the factory itself is going to be more efficient. The costs of the vehicles are going to be about the same, but the mix of vehicles that they are selling out of Berlin are going to be more expensive, which in turn means that they are going to be more profitable. So this is a huge piece coming out of Berlin. Now when you go over and look at Austin right now also has just the Model Y, which means that it will in turn be more profitable than over in Shanghai. Now next year we are getting the Cybertruck that is going to be coming out of Austin as well. That is going to be coming out at a ramp pace which is probably about half as much of a Model 3, but it is going to have margins of a Model X. This is just my guess. We don't know for sure what is going on, but based upon that information, seems like that is what's going to happen. So Austin is going to be even more profitable than Berlin. And then any factory that they make going forward is going to be in turn more efficient than the previous factory. So as Tesla builds more factories, each one of them is going to be more profitable than the last. And now as Martin Viecha had discussed the other day, where the cost of the vehicles back in 2017 used to be $87,000. Now it is down to $36,000. So what other ways can Tesla reduce costs? Well, there's a lot of different ways they can do it. Obviously just, in learning how to be more efficient in manufacturing as they are doing with their factories, they also have the 4680 batteries that are coming out. Some analysts expect that it is going to cut the costs by 66% in the batteries. And seeing as the battery is a significant cost when it comes to making the vehicle, that is a significant cost reduction for production of these vehicles. So when we're looking down the road saying, hey, when is Tesla going to come out with a lower priced vehicle in that $30,000 to $35,000 range, which is right in that sweet spot when it comes to vehicle pricing? Well, they need to bring the costs down in order to get there. Well, what can they do to bring the costs down? Well, when they bring the cost down of the batteries and they get more efficient in their production in the factories, that will naturally bring it down. They can then bring the prices of all of their vehicles down and be able to make a vehicle that is in the $30,000 to $35,000 range and still have it be profitable. So then on top of all of this, you've got the EV tax credits. You have the Inflation Reduction Act, which, as Ross decided to call it, the Climate Reduction Act, because it's not really reducing inflation because you're spending money. That's not how it works. Anyway, so looking at the Climate Reduction Act, Tesla's going to be getting significant tax credits for all of this. So they're going to have the EV tax credit for $7,500. By producing the batteries over here, they can also qualify for the battery tax credit. So Tesla is going to get a significant chunk of subsidies coming from the US government to in turn bring the costs of their vehicles down. Now, I have no doubt in the future we're going to get a lot of FUD coming from bears and Tesla Q saying, well, Tesla wouldn't have margins like that if it weren't for the tax credits, just like they did before for all of the tax credits. Sure, we can separate those numbers out, but when you're thinking about it, it's like, all right, well, that would be like saying, hey, you can have an asterisk next to your home run record because you're using performance-enhancing drugs. But in this case, it's not like they're using performance-enhancing drugs. It's like they're using workouts and good nutrition because it's legal and everyone has access to it. It's just Tesla is the only one who is actually utilizing as much of the capabilities that they can from this EV tax credit and the battery tax credits. Legacy Auto can totally do that. They're just not producing enough. They don't produce batteries on their own, so they can't qualify for all of those tax credits. Because they're not doing that. But they can, they're just choosing not to. Tesla has set themselves up to take advantage of every opportunity that they possibly can, and this opportunity coming along from the government is a huge one. And Elon has said himself that they don't need this. They don't need the tax credits. Obviously, they had massive margins. I mean, look at the last year. Tesla was hitting 30% margins without any of the credits. So they don't need any of this to get there. This EV tax credit is actually just going to save legacy auto for the most part. But looking at this, Tesla can now boost their margins up. So now I ask, when are we going to hit 40% margins? Looking at how we've got, the 4680s are going to start ramping next year. We've got the EV tax credit that's going to hit next year. We've got the Cybertruck that is rolling out next year. I think that by Q3 or Q4 of next year, depending on when the Cybertruck really starts to ramp up, we could realistically hit 40% vehicle margins by the end of 2023. And now we haven't even factored in any of the software, any of the FSD, any of the insurance. All of these very high margin items that go along with the profitability for Tesla and the EV side of their business haven't even been factored into that 40% margins. When you start tacking in FSD, and then we get the robotaxi fleet on the road in 2024 and 2025, and we start racking in that. And then we've got, as Ross Gerber said, we've got the EV charging network. Tesla has the largest EV charging network in the world, and that is massive profits coming in from them as well. Over in California, they're building charging stations with 170 chargers at them. You go to a gas station, what gas station is going to have 170 pumps? Granted, it does take longer to charge your vehicle, so it makes it worthwhile to have that many chargers there because you're going to take a bit longer. But even with battery technology picking up over the next 5 years or so, that time for charging your vehicle is going to come down significantly. So we'll be able to have more people rotating through all of these charging stations. But that's a lot of chargers right there. And when it comes to like restaurants, turnover is what you want. You don't want to rush your customers out, but if customers aren't paying for things, it's like, hey, how quickly can we turn these tables over to make more money? Same is going to hold true for all these charging stations. The faster they can turn people over at these charging stations, the more profits they are going to be making. And that will happen down the road. And now having charging stations with 170 chargers at them means you're going to be able to charge a lot more people a lot faster and make even more profits on top of that. And all of these things talking about profitability and how Tesla is as profitable as they are right now, pulling in over $5 billion in free cash flow every quarter, which is going to be growing exponentially over the next decade. And then all the profitabilities that we can see coming in on top of it, which means that their free cash flow is going to get even higher over the next decade. Leads me to a tweet that Sawyer Mera had put out from Arn Ellison from Worm Capital, talking about, he's viewing Tesla right now like Apple back in 2007. Or 2003, or even earlier, but Tesla's going to be a significantly larger company. So I look at something the other day, it hit me, thinking about, when I'm looking at a company and I look at their mission statement and I say, all right, what is the total addressable market of their mission statement? And Tesla's mission statement is to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. Previously, it was to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable transport. So Tesla feels like they have already accomplished that goal, and we have seen that. We have seen the EV adoption revolution taking over. So Tesla feels they have done that. Obviously, they're still going to be, focusing heavily there, but energy is next. Tesla's mission statement is addressing the entire world. The entire world is going to be the addressable market for Tesla, and it's going to be multifaceted. It's going to be energy. It is going to be vehicles and transportation. It is going to be AI in the future. So Tesla on 3 fronts, 2 of which we know of right now, potentially AI in the future, they're going to have the entire world as their addressable market. And then when we get to Mars, they could have that as well. They could be the first company that addresses a multi-planetary market. I know that's a long ways down the road, but just thinking about the progress that they're making and where they're at right now, and they're already showing signs of their exponential growth when it comes to profitability, and we are seeing the signs of that right now. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. How long do you think it's going to take before Tesla hits 40% vehicle gross margins? Do you think it's going to be next year? What other ways do you think Tesla can cut costs to bring margins up even higher and increase their profitability? Just a reminder, I will not be doing a live stream tonight. I will be out with my son watching his soccer game, but I will be on this weekend. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to do a live stream, but I'm going to be working on the new videos for you guys. So I'll get those out there. I'll get a video over to you guys as members. If you guys are not not a member, you can sign up down in the pinned comment below. I'll be doing special giveaways. I'll be doing a bunch of perks over there for you guys, some discounts on merchandise when I have that coming out, extra special videos for you guys that are going to be dialed in to what you are looking at specifically. So if you want to check it out down there, you can. Thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all of the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. We do have a Discord chat. That link is down in the description. And if you'd like to support the channel any further, we do have a Patreon. That link is also in the description. Thank you so much. Have a great one.